In today's practice, we're going to be using a yoga belt to help our Pilates practice. So this is kind of a fun way to add a little bit of resistance. Some of these exercises will actually become harder. Some of them are going to be a little bit easier. If you don't have a yoga belt, then grab the longest belt you have or a very long towel, and that'll probably be able to help you along the way. So let's get started. Muted, perfect. So what I'd like for you to do is first take your band behind your back, and you're going to be holding onto it so that it's right at the upper, say, rib area. Good. I'm going to actually just come over here and help show this. So Chris, can you turn your back? Oh, you're wearing blue on blue. That'll work though. So he has his band, great, right at sort of like his thoracic spine. So right underneath his scapula, his shoulder blades right there. And he is holding it with just a tiny bit of resistance. We're not working on strength building here. We're working on feeling how deep we could breathe into this part of your back. This can also be done with a TheraBand, but I like this part of it. So when you breathe now, I'd like you to be sending the air towards your back and try to feel how those ribs are expanding against this yoga belt right there. So we actually have more lung space in the back of our body than the front of our body, but often in our minds, somehow we think the front has more. So if we can imagine getting all of that room in the lungs. And Chris, you could turn back to them. Take a couple more breaths right there. I'm just going to join you. And then throughout our entire training today, we're going to be trying to breathe as deep in that area and then also sometimes down to our belly.
I almost destroyed the belt with my breathing. It almost broke.
Almost. You're going to take it over to one hand. Doesn't matter which hand. Okay. And you're giving, so it's an efficient hold. You don't need to be pulling yourself to the side right there. Just a little bit efficient. But we would like to now breathe into the side space. Fill the lungs with air so that the lung starts to press on the rib or opens that rib, and then it moves into the belt a bit. If you want to get even more, let's say, detailed with it, you can imagine that the air is coming through. So he has it on his left side right now, that the air is coming through his left nostril and filling mostly his left lung, and that's pressing against it. I don't know if it's actually scientifically possible to do that, but from our feeling, it's pretty interesting. Maybe one more breath right there, everyone. And when you're ready, move it over to the other side. Good. And as you sort of settle into holding that, right, we want to look for efficiency. You don't want to be using so much tension in your body that it causes more, and it's not a problem, but it causes more effort than you need to. This feeling is quite subtle. Maybe take about 2 more breaths right like this. Releasing whatever tension you don't need currently. So whether that's in your jaw or somewhere else. Good. And then we're going to take that belt and bring it down so that you're holding it with both hands in front of your body. And I'd like you to take your arms up above your head with a breath. Taking all the way above your head. I'm going to move out of the way for you all. And then maybe an exhale on the way back down. Continue this movement for a while. Maybe inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. And see if you can connect that 3-dimensional space, front, sides, and back of your ribs. And just staying curious, how does that interact with your belly muscles as you're breathing? Let's lift our arms above your head. Good. And I'd like you to lean from side to side. Great. And continue this for a few times, thinking about growing up towards the sky before you lean to the side. There's just a light, sort of like body tension, just maybe body awareness through the core, so that we're not feeling crunchy in the spine as we go side to side, but more elasticy. And if those cues don't make sense, don't worry about it. Ignore them and see what feels good for your body. You're going to finish off this last one. And lower your arms in front of you. Maybe adjust the strap just a little bit so that you're about shoulder width apart, and give a light pull of the arms moving away from each other. Of course, it's not elastic, so there's no more movement possible than that light tension that's there. Good. Hold on to that tension and see if you can also lift through the abdominal muscles just a bit so you feel the front and the back. Great. Hold on to that tension, and we lift the heels and lower the heels. And when I say tension, I'm not talking about like full muscle exertion. I'm thinking maybe about 10% of your strength. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Perfect. Now I'd like you to press the belt into your thighs as if you're trying to bring your arms behind you. Good. Hold on to that. Now you're feeling, or you're noticing, the backs of the arms working, backs of the shoulders working. As you're standing right here, see if you can integrate those ribs back into your belly muscles. Sometimes as we're working, our ribs press out, but we'd like to keep them gentle there. Good. Lift and lower your heels a few times right there. A lot of things to think about at the same time. Keeping that 3-dimensional breath as we go. Let's give it 1 more. Perfect. And then after your last one, I'd like you to bring that belt onto the floor and maybe stand evenly in the middle of it. If your belt is not long enough for this, then leave the belt on the floor for this next one and don't worry about it. Try to replicate as best you can. So you're standing on that belt and you're having enough tension that your arms are long and you're trying to almost pull up with your entire body, but your feet are rooting down towards the ground. So the crown of your head is lifting up to the sky. Your feet are pressing, rooting down. Stay right there for a few moments. Good. Now take the top of your head and start a roll down. As you go, the tension of the belt is going to get looser. I'd like you to roll down towards the floor. Good, as low as it feels comfortable. And then stack your spine, coming all the way back up to standing until you find that same place as you did before, your best posture. Feeling those opposites of growing up to the sky and rooting down to the ground. And then do it again. Roll down. And rolling all the way back up. Good. Slow enough where you can discover things for yourself. We're going to change this a little bit. Start your roll down and go about a little less than halfway. So you're rounded down, but your shoulders are still higher than your hips. Stay right there, and then make that belt a little bit tighter so you have the same amount of resistance as you had before. Your arms are long, but we're holding the belt tighter. Now, I'd like you to scoop your belly muscles in, hollow them out, and make yourself rounder. Play around with shifting your weight a little bit more on the front of your feet. Make yourself rounder. Release the tension in the back of the neck so your top of head is still looking down to the ground. Scoop out a little bit more. One more breath. And continue your roll down all the way down towards the ground. Then start by pulling the tailbone underneath you and roll halfway up just to where you were before. Try to keep on rolling up, but that tension in the belt is still holding you there. Hollow it out. Then hold a little bit looser on that belt and roll your way all the way up to standing. Great. Last time, this roll down is going to bring you down. Loose arms as we go. Relax the tension from the belt all the way down to the floor. When you're there, just leave the belt onto the floor. And then find your way down to your mat when you're ready. Great job, everyone. So if you needed to adjust in where your mat is or anything, go ahead and do that right now. Okay. You're going to go all the way down on your mat. And I'd like you to bring the belt over the hips so that your arms are long. And first, we're going to just relax that belt there. We're going to tilt in your pelvis, going through like a little imprint position. So your pelvis rocks, and then you're going to start to lift your tailbone, bone for bone, all the way up. There's not much tension on that belt. It's just to give enough pressure where you have a little bit of resistance. And then bone for bone, all the way back down to the ground. Good. So there'll be points during this right now where the tension on the belt is going to change a little bit, and that's fine. Go up and down. Link into your breathing pattern. I mean, there's some Pilates teachers that are going to say breathe, inhale over here, exhale over here. Do what feels right for your body. And let's do one more, and we're going to stay up there and then play around with this a little bit. So you're up at the top of your bridge. And I'd like you to give just the lightest bit of tension on that belt. So the belt is right over your hips. Great. Your arms are long, so you're feeling a little bit of, let's say, strength in the backs of your arms as they press down to the floor. That looks wonderful, everyone. Now, without changing the tension on the belt, can you lift one leg off of the ground? Maybe it goes up to tabletop, maybe it's just a couple centimeters. Well done. And then I'd like you to bring that foot back down and go to the other side. Well done. So this is what we're going to be working through. A little marching from one leg to the other leg. And we're looking for that, say, that feeling of the tension on the belt stays exactly the same. So that means from right side to left side and also from up to down. Yes, Hubert. That's right. That's a good transition, Agnes. I like that. Okay, we'll do one more time each side. And then I'd like you to bring your hips down to the floor and hug your knees into your chest. Good. Place your feet back onto the floor. Bring that belt into your hands. The arms are stretched out long in front of you, and we're getting ready for a chest lift. So lift your chest, and I'd like you to place the belt onto your thigh area. Let's see. Good. Yes, that's exactly right. So onto your thighs, and I'd like you to press against it just a bit. So you're trying to get up higher, but the belt is pressing you back. Good. And you're going to do very small little lifts right here for an 8, 7. Try to break the belt here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your chest back down to the floor. Keep the belt in your hands. Raise your right leg up to tabletop position. Good. Lift your chest and bring that belt right onto the thigh again. Good. Now press the thigh into your belt and try to lift yourself all the way up as high as you can. Good. 8 little pulses right here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself all the way back down. Let's switch out to the other side. Tabletop, lifting your chest. Look for your neck position that makes sense for you. Little pulse. 1, 2. Breathe how you need. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bring your chest back down to the ground. Perfect. Bring both legs up to tabletop. Lift your chest, and this time bring the belt on your shins as you're pressing the shins down. Pressing the shins up to the sky, and the arms are pressing down. Lift your chest up just a little bit higher. Good. We stay there. No movement, holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your chest back down to the floor. Take the belt and place it over your feet. So the soles of your feet are in the belt. Make your belt as long as possible. We're going to use it for our roll up. So once you have your feet there, then bring your legs down onto the floor. Long legs, lift your chest. Look towards your feet. Let the belt help you round in the spine like you did with the roll down. Coming all the way towards the front. Give me a little bit of a spine stretch forward. You could even try to lengthen your arms a bit towards the back, depending on how long that belt is. Then stack your spine. Give me a tall position first. Then scoop in the center, tuck through, and roll your way back down to the ground. Yes, Kati. Yeah. There one spot, right? The one spot is always hard. Lift your chest and try it a few more times right there. Look towards the front. Use the strength of your arms for this rounding through. Excellent. Spine stretch forward, then stack your spine. Give it a moment. And then find your way back down. You could try now letting go of the belt. Let it just stay there. We'll find it in a second. And lift your chest and do your roll up without the help of the belt. See if it changed anything. And we'll come back up to a tall seated position. So don't roll down yet, or everyone does a fast roll up. Perfect. Sit right there. Take the belt into your hands. We're going to go about shoulder width apart and raise your arms up above your head. Pressing the belt up towards the sky, shoulders are gently pulling down, and at the same time, try to tear the belt apart. So you're trying to lengthen, feel those lat muscles right there. If this is very uncomfortable for your hips, bend your knees right about now. We're doing a spine twist. We're doing it slow. Rotate to one side. Doesn't matter which side. Keep evenly pulling the belt away from each other. Rotate back through the center. Rotate to the other side. Good, and back to the center. Continue on. You're trying to keep the belt parallel to the ceiling right now. Good, and back. Good. So it's an effort of getting taller through the body. Sometimes we tend to, screw down towards the floor, but we want to go up towards the sky. Feeling again that front side and back of that breath from bottom to top. One more time each side, you're almost there. Good. Hook the belt over your right sole of your foot. Roll your way down to lie on your back and bring the right leg up towards the sky. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it was fun and you've learned maybe a couple different things to do with your belt. If you'd like to find the full practice that we did, that would be in our membership, and there's information about that below. Or you can subscribe to our channel. We have a new training every single week, or you can look at the next video right there. Thank you.